So this is a goal planning for a married couple. Who are around 35 years of age with a newborn at home and would like to achieve these goals. The goals list here is definitely not an exhaustive one. Many things can be included in at all these three levels. So contingency fund is not exactly a goal. It is something you have to maintain for the unknowns. So typically it is suggested you maintain a corpus of 3 to 6 months of the expenses, depending on how stable your job is and how long it will take for you to find a new job in case you want to take a sabbatical or else if there is some problem at home, right? And so that you don't come under pressure and take anything and everything which is there on the offer. So it is suggested to maintain this corpus as an FD or a debt mutual fund. So the fixed income is what I'm talking about. So the goals for this couple can be bucketed into three types. So one is the pre-retirement, second is the dependent goals, third are the post-retirement goals. So before their retirement, the couple intends to buy a house worth 5 crores in today's term that they want to achieve this by 2040. And they would like to travel within India every year and they would like to spend 5 lakhs again in today's terms. So the frequency of one indicates every year, right? And they have a foreign travel goal. So they would like to visit for the first time in 2030. And in today's term, they would like to spend 25 lakhs and they want to do it at a frequency of 5 year every 5 years. So these guys would like to buy a car in 2026 and they want to change it every 7 years. So, and in today's term, the car would be around 30 lakhs. So the goals associated with travel and car, so they intend to do it after retirement as well, and have no intention of compromising on the quality of life post their retirement. So with respect to their newborn daughter, they would like to fund her education in USA, and they think it would cost rupees 3 crores for undergrad and 1 crore for postgrad. And they expect these goals to occur in 2043 and 2047 respectively. So finally, the retirement expenses. So according to them, a monthly expense of 3 lakhs is something they would like to spend. So in today's terms, after 2050, when they retire at the age of 60. So like I mentioned, contingency is something that all they have to do is put it in a fixed deposit. So or else any debt mutual fund and it will grow just above the inflation point. So it should be all right. So then dream house, right? Here I have assumed the inflation to be around 6%. So in 2040, the house they have in mind would cost around 12 crores. So they either need a lump sum of 2.5 crores or a SIP of 2.62 lakh crores for the same. The formula is here. So this is a pretty standard one. And and here for the lump sum, what I have done is this is the value of the house. This I have compounded at 6% per annum. So and this I have discounted by 11%. So there is an ample data which suggests that equities may deliver negative returns for horizon below 5 years. So the recommended funds for horizon less than 3 years would be debt funds, whose historic averages have been around 6 to 7%. And for 3 to 5 years, the preferred asset class may be hybrid funds, where the return is assumed to be somewhere between the equity returns and the fixed income returns. So on the travel side, I have assumed the inflation to be at 10%. For varium, so if you look at the time horizons, right, like I mentioned, so I have taken 7% for goals less than 3 years. So and 9% for goals less than 5 years, then it is 11%. So SIPs required are also calculated accordingly for each occurrence of the goal. So for goals after 2050, that is after they retire, if you are looking at the formula for 2050, it is at B39. That is nothing but from 2025 to 2050, there are 25 years. So for 25 years, what is the SIP required to achieve this goal is what I have calculated. So for the rest of the years, it cannot be more than 25. The reason being these people are retiring there. So what is the SIP amount which is required for 2051 goal, right? So that's the reason why the SIP amount is increasing for that specific year, not just that specific year. In any year after 2050, the SIP amount will be increasing, right? And over the next next 65 years, so these people will end up spending 269 crores on domestic travel, and all they require is a lump sum of 2.5 crores in order to achieve this. So for foreign travel, the calculations are similar, but here they are doing at a frequency of 5 years. And here they'll end up spending around 323 crores. The lump sum required will be around, again around 2.5 crores. So for car, right, child's PG and child's UG and retirement, the calculations are similar. Only thing that has changed is the inflation. So for education, it is 10% is what I have assumed, right? So for retirement, it's around 6%. And the same thing, again, after 2050, you have to do a small change in the formula, right? So where everything would be at 25. Since these guys won't be spending this amount before retirement, so we'll not be having the years from between 25 to 2050 here. So again here, as the retirement expenses from the age of 60 to 100, they will end up spending something like 255 crores. So for that, they require a lump sum of just 2 crores. Again, assumptions here are basis the equity returns and the inflation. Let's say the here everywhere I have assumed inflation to be anywhere between 3 to 10%. So let's say the inflation is at 6% and the returns are at 11%. That's the corpus you will be requiring. That's the amount of spend you will be doing in case of 6% inflation. If this is lower, this amount will be lower, right? And if this is same, and if the compounding is at a higher level, this corpus required will be lower. So that way these things change. These are a bit dynamic. And the purpose of the goal planning is not to be exact, rather to be prepared to the extent possible, right? Let's say you are 90% prepared, it's easy to manage the rest of the 10%. But if it is reverse, that is like if you are prepared only for 10%, then 90% of it is there's no way you can achieve that. So now let's just look at the compounding effect, right? Uh, Apart from the contingency, which we have to exclude because, as I told you, this is not exactly a goal. Rest of them are. So more than 98% of the spends which this couple will be incurring will be coming through the compounding effect, right? Now let's look at the spending journey. So retirement expenses and the goals post the retirement are the ones which form the major chunk of their lifetime spends. If we are going back to the compounding effect as well, there are three major goals which basically form like close to 80% of their spends. That is like the domestic travel goal, foreign travel goal, and the retirement expenses. This is definitely coming after the retirement only. But if you look at the spending journey as well, so the domestic travel goal, right, and the foreign travel goal are the ones which for which they are incurring a lot of money in the future as well. So almost all the mutual fund websites have goal calculators, but why should every investor along with his or her spouse do this exercise manually? One, you will understand what is the amount you have to invest, and if that's not possible, what are the things that you have to prioritize is something which you will understand. So through a goal calculator, there is no way you can understand that. Let's say, for example, there is one year where you may not travel, right? If you're not traveling that year, right? So then there is some increase in the surplus, or else you can allot that to a different goal. These are something which you will never be able to do if you are not doing it on your own. Second is the importance of the time horizon and what are the asset classes you have to invest in to achieve these goals. Like I told you, for anything less than 5 years, we should not consider the equity. and anything less than 3 years, it's better going to the fixed income kind of funds. And again, not just that, through the investing, it's always you have to understand it has every investment should have a purpose, right? If you are buying a house or something like that, or else your education of your daughter, these are all investments. And a house can be treated as an asset as well. It's part of real estate. So when you are looking at the entire pie chart, you will understand how diversified your investments are as well. Third thing, you will understand what is the term life cover you require as well, right? Because this is some discussion almost every person, every family avoids. But in case of any unfortunate incident, right? If the couple have not decided what they have to prioritize and everything, it will be a challenge. Let's say this couple has that maturity and they have decided that their daughter's education is their utmost priority. And since if anything happens to one of them, so the retirement expenses can be halved. So accordingly, the insurance required will be coming to 4.4 crores, right? This video is for educational purpose only. It is neither an recommendation to buy nor a recommendation to sell the asset class in discussion. Thank you.